And here we go. What is happening? Good evening to all of you. My name is Jamel.
Hey everyone, I'm Lakeisha and welcome to Progressively Becoming. Thank you guys for joining us for another conversation. As always, as you're getting on,
Here we go again.
Make sure you like, comment, and share and let someone know PB is on now. We are in the building and every Tuesday right here at 7 p.m. sharp.
Growing up, I used to love Mr. Rogers in The Neighborhood. And I don't know why when she just said sharp, I thought of it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine?
Won't you be mine?
Neighbor. I have always wanted a friend just like you. Like, comment, and share. Get the word out. We're on. Welcome to all of our podcasters, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, TuneIn. If you haven't already subscribed to the podcast, go ahead and do so now. It is a whole community over on our podcast outlet. If you have not downloaded the podcast, do so now. We are on the verge of dropping some new content. We are releasing some new material on our podcast. It is going to be extremely exciting. In probably about 2-3 weeks or so, we'll drop what it is. But you want to be there before it drops. I truly believe that this is going to be life-changing, not only to you and to us, but to the world. So go ahead, download all of our podcasts outlets. Welcome to all of those on Facebook, YouTube, those of you watching on our website. Again, if you know someone that is not social media savvy, give them the website www.progressivelybecoming.com. Well, you can go to the Place of Exchange also. Go ahead, hit podcast in the upper right hand corner, and it'll bring you to www.progressivelybecoming.com. So you can go ahead and you can watch us live on our website as well. So yeah, welcome to all of you that is watching us on our website now. We have a whole community that watches us on our website. Good evening to all of you. What's happening? Like, comment, share. We are here. We are live.
You was riled up, though. You like hype.
Because today's conversation is going to be a phenomenal one.
You hype, my dude.
Because today's conversation is going to be a great one. We are talking about the heart. It's February. We're talking about the heart.
We are talking about the heart, but before we talk about the heart, let's talk about morning devotions on Thursday.
Talk about morning devotions.
Morning devotion. Thursday, 6 a.m. right here live on Facebook and YouTube. 6 a.m. sharp. Thursday devotions. Make sure you are there or be square.
Absolutely.
Tag someone, bring someone. Get yourself there. Every Thursday, 6 a.m. Where we pray with you, pray for you. We believe in the power of prayer. Prayer changes things. Prayer works.
Yeah.
Sunday Exchange, the Place of Exchange Worship Center. We will be here Sunday, 9 a.m. You can see us on all of our outlets, Progressively Becoming, the Place of Exchange, all of that.
Yeah.
Please tag someone, invite someone, and we welcome you to join us every Sunday, 9 a.m. for the Sunday Exchange.
Absolutely. It's so many things that's happening. When I tell you this, and we're moving to the conversation that we have scheduled today. But when you follow God, let me say this. When you follow God, God is notorious for bringing you down paths that make no sense to you. He really does this. And there's a level of frustration, if we're honest, that we can have with God. It's like, okay, God, you're bringing me down this path. I don't know what it is, yet you bring me down this path. But it is so much easier to go this route. So we assume, right? But the lovely thing about God, God has a character. If you read the scripture, you'll see God, he has a character. And one of his character traits I've noticed is that he has a sense of humor. God is funny and he will make you laugh. And when you follow God, your life will be filled with laughter, because what seems crazy to you, to God, it's right on target. And you'll end up laughing. So our prayer is that in your life, as you follow God, he'll bring those moments of laughter where it's like, okay, I got you. I see what you was doing. I was wrong. You was right. Okay, I got you. My bad, Lord. Won't happen again. Forgive me. Right? But God is doing great things wherein we are glad. Last week, what happened?
Oh, before we go to last week, make sure if you haven't already, just trying to show some love to the Relatable Mama. Spotify, go to Spotify. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the Relatable Mama, where the Mitchells are bringing it on that podcast, the Relatable Mama. Go on over to the Facebook page, the Relatable Mama, and make sure that you like it. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share it, because it is some powerful stuff that's going down on the Relatable Mama podcast.
That's it.
I've been listening, and they are dropping very good information, great nuggets, different life challenges that you may face, and it was some for women and actually for men. So make sure that you all are tuning in. If you missed last week's conversation, it is one that you definitely should go back and watch or listen to. And on that conversation, we talked about the brutal and senseless killing of Tyre Nichols. We did have Christian Mitchell on with us. He was a former law enforcement official in South Carolina. So that was a powerful conversation. Please make sure that you go and take a listen or take a watch, however it is that you view us. That is an episode that you don't want to miss out on. And we just want to talk about the importance of liking and sharing and like leaving a review on our page.
So last week, Progressively Becoming was shadow banned because our content was of great controversy. In social media, shadow banned is when you are not officially banned, but your reach is not as far, just like a shadow. Shadow has a far reach. So our reach did not extend as far as it normally does because our content was controversial. And what happens is you may hear often, and we're going to move on quickly, but you may hear people often say like, comment, and share, tag someone, or because what happens is it builds algorithms and it prohibits, or should I say helps, being shadow banned, where more people will be able to view the content that we're displaying. How we created the page, it targets those individuals that share similar interest, right? And last week we were shadow banned, and we saw it by the just by our reach. It did not reach as all of our other previous episodes did. So again, do us a favor, like it, comment. If you're on YouTube right now, go ahead, come out of the video, hit that thumbs up, go back into the video, just so that we can continue to build the algorithm so that we won't be shadow banned, even when our content is controversial. It wasn't wrong, but it was controversial. And that's what happened last week. So we're moving on with that in mind. We will continue, and not just us, right? But do this to all content creators on Facebook that is sharing something that's positive and uplifting to the community. Like their content, share their content, thumbs up their content. It helps the content creators become more recognized in social media. So again, not just us, do it for all content creators that add some type of value to your life.
Absolutely, absolutely. So definitely make sure y'all go and do that for us. We really appreciate it. So put your hands on your heart right now for about 10 seconds. So for
it was not 10 seconds.
Well, you could keep it there and I can keep continuing. Okay. As you keep your hand on your heart for 10 seconds, you just felt the beat that keeps you alive. And there are more attacks on your heart every day than anything else. Every day, with every minute, your heart is subject to an attack.
Every day.
And from a multitude of enemies, friends, and just life in general. With each passing day, your heart experiences attacks, your heart fight against attacks, and your heart guards against attacks.
That's it.
And this is why the heart is a muscular organ. So the heart is a muscle at the center of your circulatory system, pumping blood around your body as your heart beats. This blood sends oxygen and nutrients to all parts of your body and carries away unwanted carbon dioxide and waste products.
Absolutely.
In fact, it is the hardest
working muscle.
Give it up for the heart.
The hardest working muscle is the heart. Would you put that in the comment? The heart is working.
Right. It is working overtime, y'all. And it's not our biceps, it's not your legs, it's not your quads, it's not the six pack.
Two. Cause that's working overtime too.
But it's your heart.
Yes.
And while your biceps are at rest when you're sleeping, and your legs are at rest when you're sleeping, at least some of our legs is, cause I don't know what be going on. Anyway, your heart is not.
It's not.
Your heart is actually the size of your fist. So ball up your fist, and that is the size of your heart.
How can something so small, so like seemingly minuscule, be responsible for keeping it all together? Why are we saying this? Because if you never understand your heart, please listen to us. If you never understand your heart, if you never understand the function of your heart, you will never understand its attack, and it will be easy for it to be misused and abused. If you never understand the function of your heart, the responsibility of your heart, and if you never understand the attacks of your heart, it will be misuse and abuse. You will misuse whatever it is you do not understand.
Right.
Write that down somewhere. Whatever you don't understand will be subject to misuse and abuse. And we will never become the persons that God has intended for us to become. If we fail to understand, take care, and guard your heart. So, what are some attacks against the heart? Before you answer that question, allow us to propose something to you. Allow us to strongly suggest, that there is more than one heart.
Right.
And over the next 4 weeks in February, which is Heart Health Month, we will be discussing the physical heart and the spiritual heart.
Right.
Our hearts are under attack. It's a heart attack. Would you put that in the comments? Our hearts are under attack. It's under siege. It's in battle. It's in war. As we speak at this moment, your physical heart and your spiritual heart is under attack.
It is under attack.
And somebody has to talk about it.
Somebody. And y'all know how we do here.
Yeah.
At PB, we talks about it.
Yeah. Our hearts is under attack.
Yes, we talk about. So some of the daily attacks, y'all, that our heart have experienced and that it is experiencing, I hate to say it, but honestly, sometimes we often bring that on ourselves.
It's us. Absolutely.
We bring it on as onto ourselves.
Yeah.
And we often say, you may have heard it, that you're the key to my heart.
You have the key to my heart.
You have the key to my heart. And then you attack my heart. Not you, but
no, I got you.
You attack my heart. And we can't get upset because you are the one that gave them the key.
Yeah. You
gave it to them. So could it be our hearts exposed to attacks? We are exposed to attacks because we fail to cover it both physically and spiritually.
Absolutely.
And I'm here to let you know, we are here to let you know that you are responsible for covering your heart.
Because no one should be able to obtain access to your heart unless you grant it. Unless you give it permission to come in, no one should be able to obtain access to your heart. And we are just not talking about the heart in this metaphoric sense. Because many of you, I'm going to assume, or assuming that we're talking about emotions and relationships. No, there is a practicality to our hearts that we have missed as well. Our physical condition, the physical heart, would often mirror the condition of our spiritual heart. Are you hearing us? And our spiritual hearts will often mirror the conditions of our physical hearts. Because if you do not think the two hearts, if you don't think the spiritual heart is communicating with the physical heart, and the physical heart is communicating with the spiritual heart, if you don't think that these two are in communication with each other, you are sadly mistaken, and you will be the target of multiple heart attacks that could eventually lead to death.
That's good.
Not just spiritual death, but physical death as well. Our hearts are communicating with each other every day that we wake up. Exactly. What is the attack?
Right.
What is under attack? How are our hearts physically and spiritually under attack?
And what do we allow to happen to our physical heart?
That's good. Yeah.
Right. Some of us are not aware of the effects.
Absolutely.
That we ourselves have on our physical heart.
Yeah.
Then we have some of us that are aware.
Correct. Yeah.
But we still choose to help the attack happen. We help it, and we continue to allow it to happen to our heart.
Yeah.
So, for instance, it can be brought on.
It's about to get real.
So our physical attack can be brought on by what we eat, what we drink, and I'm not just talking about like alcoholic beverages. I'm talking about like sodas and like those sugary drinks that we all like to consume, smoking, and even stress.
God go deliver you. He gonna deliver you from alcohol and smoking. I promise you. This year, God gonna deliver you from it. I'm sorry.
Anyway, so and look, all of this can lead to us developing. We can develop high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, strokes, heart disease, and I'm gonna go over like some of these medical conditions that happen to us as a result of us not taking care of our physical heart.
Absolutely.
And as you know, y'all, and even you don't, or you in denial, but as we age, our body changes. And what we did before and what we consumed as kids, teens, and young adults.
Absolutely.
Like, we can't maneuver like that as you get older.
We can't do it.
As younger folks, we was able to, like, you know, probably eat what we want, and we didn't gain any weight. We hardly ever exercised, but we was good. But as we get older, I'm telling you, y'all, that ain't gonna work.
Changes. I'm envious of our son Tyler. Like, he comes home from college and he eats like every 30 minutes. He'll eat, and I'm looking at him like, there's no way in the world that you can eat all of this and your stomach stay flat. No way in the world.
But I remember that was my case as well.
Yeah, but again, it goes to your point. As we get older,
you can do that stuff.
Our metabolism halts completely.
It does.
Seemingly.
It does.
And
it sits on your stomach.
It sits on our stomach. And that's the problem most of us have. It's not our arms. It's not our legs. If we can get this stomach together.
Yes. If we can just... And a lot of us want to lose weight. And we just say, I just want to lose my stomach.
No.
But unfortunately, that's not going to happen.
You can't just target fat in your stomach without targeting the fat in your quads, in your love handles, in your back.
In your back.
There's back
fat.
We have back fat that we have to get rid of. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes. No, I'm just saying. I remember when I used to be like 104 pounds, like for years.
Mm-hmm.
That was my weight. I ate what I wanted. Mm-hmm. I didn't gain a pound. But eventually, that number started going up and up and up. And like, you know, and as you get older, it's easy to put on the weight.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry, it's easy to put on the weight, but it is hella hard to get the weight off.
Yes.
Because it requires an extreme amount of work, which we didn't really need, or it wasn't required early on in our younger years.
Yeah.
So, you know, with high blood pressure is when your blood pressure, the force of blood flowing through your blood vessels is constantly too high. And there are instances, I'm going to just say, with high blood pressure, it can be genetic and inherited, meaning that it runs in the family. Yes. And when that happens, you do have a higher chance of developing high blood pressure. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to help that thing along. Like, you don't want to help it along. Like, my grandmother, she has high blood pressure, but my mom doesn't. And I developed high blood pressure when I was like about 28 years old. And I was pretty skinny then. You know, and I was told that, you know, it would go away because it only developed as a complication of the pregnancy that I had. Gotcha. So I was told, once you deliver the baby, your blood pressure is going to go away. You're not going to have it. But that didn't happen for me. Yeah. And as the years progressed, and even lifestyle changes and things that I did, it never went away. So I was told, because it ran in my family, that I would be more than likely to continue with it and, you know, possibly have it for the rest of my life. And even though I took measures to get rid of it, it never went away. It's controlled because I did make certain changes to what I eat, and even still now, it's, thank God, it's controlled with that and medication. But imagine if I just continued eating how I wanted to eat. Maybe it would be out of control. What you laughing at?
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm listening to you. I am digesting what you're saying.
Okay, because you want to say something
smart. I do not want to say anything smart, sarcastic, or rude. Because Lady Goodson is watching me, so I have to be on my best behavior.
So the point of that was like, imagine if I helped along the blood pressure disease, you know? I could be, because there was a point in time where it was out of control. Yeah. But it wasn't because of what I was eating. It was just, you know, finding the right medication.
That's good.
You know, finding the right dosage.
Yeah, that's good. Imagine if you, here's the question. Have I aided the disease by not watching my diet? That's a question all of us have to ask ourselves the question today. Yeah. Have we aided? Have we assisted this disease by not watching our diet?
And a lot of times, as far as like cholesterol, we all heard of cholesterol, how cholesterol, people having cholesterol. And cholesterol is a waxy substance that's found in your blood. Your body needs cholesterol to build healthy cells, but high levels of cholesterol can increase your risk of heart disease. Yeah. So I know when you go do blood work, they tell you have the good cholesterol and then you have bad cholesterol. Yeah. And the thing about this is, cholesterol is something that we can control. We can try to cut down on fatty foods, and especially foods that contain a high amount of saturated fat.
Saturated fat. What are some foods that contain saturated fats?
Now,
In other words, what are some foods that are aiding to the bad cholesterol
Right.
that we don't want, that can build around our hearts and affect and cause heart disease? Hold on. I'm gonna say it again. What are some foods that we should avoid that can cause heart disease?
And it's actually all the foods that we love to enjoy. And I really think like all the good food that we
Yeah.
like is
Yeah.
really bad for you. Like cakes,
Biscuits.
fatty cuts of meat, sausages, bacon. Love me some bacon. I had a piece of bacon today. Cheese, pastries such like pies and croissants. I love croissants. Sausage rolls, quiche, ice cream, coconut milk, coconut cream, milkshakes, chocolate spreads, butter. We add butter to everything.
We add butter
to everything. Butter to your croissant, even though it's a butter croissant already, it say buttery croissant.
But it's not enough butter.
I'm adding butter
We
to
need
that, butter to the
extra butter.
butter on top of butter. Yeah, lard, coconut. People still use lard.
I'm pretty sure
Palm
people use
oil.
lard.
And this is a good one for us, y'all. Fried foods are high in saturated fat and trans fat. So that fried foods, it promote plaque buildup in the arteries that can put us all at risk for coronary artery disease, heart failure, heart attack, and stroke. And you know we love our fried food. We love fried chicken, fried fish, fried French fries, fried shrimp. Look, anything that's fried, sign me up. I'm on the fried line.
So it's and some of you may be asking, it's just a call that just asked it. Well, what can I eat? Okay, like that's a good. I can't eat biscuits and cheese and pastries and fried foods and milkshakes and chocolate and butter. Yes. You cannot in excess.
Right.
It has to be done in moderation.
Yeah.
Not in excess. Nobody's saying you can't have ice of butter on your croissant, but perhaps do a half a slice of butter on a croissant, or perhaps do half of the croissant, right? Again, it's all about moderation, but with discipline will come moderation, right? And it's just redeveloping your sense of it's redeveloping your habits.
Right, like with fried foods, like we love fried foods, and there was a time when we was eating fried foods a lot.
Absolutely.
Now, you know, we don't eat as much fried, and then
Gotcha.
like as far as French fries, if I'm not out and we're home and I'm making fries, I'll put it in the air fryer.
Yeah.
It has the same.
It actually
crunchy
tastes
taste.
better. The air fryer tastes
Yeah.
better when French fries than dipping it
Yeah.
in some what's oil.
I put a lot of stuff in the air fryer. I've done salmon in the air fryer. It tastes really good. Fish, you know,
Yeah.
all kind of stuff. Chicken, all that stuff. Diabetes is a chronic metabolic disease characterized by elevated levels of blood glucose, which is your blood sugar. And that leads over time to serious damage to your heart, your blood vessels, eyes, kidneys,
Absolutely.
and your nerves. This is a big one because
This is big. Yeah, this is
affects
big.
us African
This is big.
Americans quite often.
This is big.
And African American adults are
is big.
60% more likely than non-Hispanic white adults to be diagnosed with diabetes.
Why is it such a struggle in, I'm gonna say, our communities, in I'm saying our in the sense of minds, right, in the African American community, and again, it's in every community, but 60% more
Yeah.
than non-African Americans.
Right.
60% more than non-African Americans.
That's a lot.
So if six non-African Americans have diabetes, then 60, right? 60% more. Yeah, then 60 African Americans will have diabetes. That ratio. That's big, and it's something that we have to take seriously.
Right.
Because all of us, and again, this conversation, oh, well, where's the spiritual content? Baby, this is spiritual content. Mm-hmm. It really is. Mm-hmm. Because what good is there to become spiritually what God has called us to be? Yeah. And we're not here. Mm-hmm. I mean, at some point, we have to consider that every day of our lives, our bodies are dying.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Are we being the ones that is speeding up the process of death in our lives? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we can't put this on God.
Right.
God knows all things. We can't put us speeding up the process of death in our lives. And that's a serious statement to make, but it's so true.
Right.
Are we speeding up the process of death in our lives by not taking seriously what we ingest that will have a direct impact on our physical hearts?
Right.
What you ingest will impact your physical heart, and your physical heart is responsible for keeping you alive.
Exactly.
And I need us to sit on this. I need us to rest in that for a moment. And because it's serious. All of us have seen individuals that unfortunately had to have their legs amputated.
Yeah.
All of us have seen individuals that unfortunately went blind in their eyes. Mm-hmm. All of us have seen individuals that perhaps died from this deadly disease called diabetes.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And especially the type that is brought on by us, which I believe, what's that? Type 2?
Yes.
Yes, it's right. It's especially type 2.
Yeah.
That is perhaps brought on by our bad habits.
Right.
Like, we have to change it around in our community. I want you to be alive and well.
Right. Exactly.
And if that means putting down that piece of fried chicken,
right.
I'm not going to have fried chicken should not have so much power over me. Right? I'm not going to risk my life because I want a 2-piece and a biscuit.
Right. It's true. Also, what can attack our physical heart is strokes.
Yeah.
And strokes is sometimes called a brain attack. Mm-hmm. And it happens in one of two ways: a blocked artery or a ruptured artery. And it occurs when something blocks blood supply to the part of the brain, or when a blood vessel in the brain bursts. Mm. In either case, it just means parts of the brain become damaged or it dies. Sure, yeah. And you know how we say, fun fact? Well, this one is not such a fun fact, but high fructose corn syrup can also contribute to heart disease, diabetes, fatty liver disease, which is in a normal level of cholesterol and other fats in the blood. And this is almost in every processed product that we pick up. So that's why we're mentioning this, because Absolutely. This is important. And before we did this research today, I didn't know about this. Yeah. I didn't know about this fact about the high fructose corn syrup. And the saying is true: what you don't know can hurt you.
Absolutely.
So we need to be looking in our pantries and just see how many items that we ingest on a daily basis that has high fructose corn syrup.
And perhaps that's an assignment for you to do tonight, right? Is look through your pantry, open up your cupboards, and look at the amount of foods that we have and that we eat on a daily basis that have HFCS, high fructose corn syrup. And again, we're not saying you can't eat it, but we are suggesting that perhaps we need to I say we. This is a we effort. Perhaps we need to limit the amount that we're eating and ingesting so that we can be healthier and we can live longer lives. There are 4 types of heart disease. Is that Jesus?
Well, but that's Elder Tony, because she having trouble getting on, so I'm trying to assist her.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are 4 types of heart disease: angina, heart attacks, heart failure, and arrhythmia.
Yes.
Angina is chest pain from lack of blood flow. Heart attacks are when the part of the heart muscle dies from loss of blood flow. Heart failure, when your heart can't pump enough blood to meet your body's need. And arrhythmia is a problem with the rate or rhythm of your heartbeat. So there are 4 types of physical heart disease.
Wow. Not only are there 4 types of physical heart disease, and we're going, but there are 4 types of spiritual heart disease. There are 4 primary enemies of our spiritual heart, right? 4 life-blocking agents, just like the physical heart, 4 life-blocking agents that become lodged in our heart and poison our relationships, poisons our character, and poisons our faith. These corrosive forces, they strengthen in darkness, right? It's, whatever is in dark seemingly gains strength because we refuse to expose it to the light. And that's what we're doing today, right? Tonight, we are exposing darkness to light so we can become aware, because anything you are ignorant in will harm you and will hurt you, right? So the 4 enemies of our spiritual heart is guilt, anger, greed, and jealousy. And we're going to name those tonight because we have to expose it to the light, just like roaches. Roaches dissipate when the light switch comes on.
Right.
And some of you acting like I ain't had no. No. We all have had a roach or 2 or 3 that we've came, half came home to, and the light comes on and the roaches scatter like, they being chased by the police, right? Right. So we have to expose, just like roaches scatter in light, we have to expose guilt, anger, greed, and jealousy to the light as well.
Right, that's good.
The heart is a mystery. In the Bible, one prophet asked the question, who can understand it? Right? And the implication is nobody could understand the heart. I completely agree with that. And even if we begin to understand the heart, we certainly cannot control it. Right? Which is all the more reason we need to learn to monitor our heart. Right. Because again, what you don't know can hurt you. The spiritual heart, it is the place where your emotions and your desires begin. It is that which drives the will of man towards action. The heart is described in the Bible as a spiritual organ that drives a man's behavior. Right. Your emotions, your desire, and your beliefs. They affect your choices, your responses, and your actions. And every day we experience something in our hearts. It is the result of our emotions, our desires, and our beliefs. Right? I can tell what your heart has become infected with by what you say out of your mouth.
That's good.
I don't have to know you. I don't have to be in relationship with you. I don't have to know your business at home. I can tell by how you speak, how you move, how you act, your behavior, your response to certain things. I can tell what diseases are infecting your spiritual heart.
That's good.
Because whether we believe it or not, these unresolved issues stirring undetected in our hearts will eventually work their way to the surface. If the conditions of your heart continually go unmonitored, whatever that thing is, whatever is growing, it will worsen to the point that you are no longer able to control it with carefully managed words and behaviors.
That's true.
Just like the heart pumps overtime when you have high blood pressure. I mean, it's pumping. It's trying to get the blood out. Like, it's trying to squeeze through those little arteries. Just like the physical heart, the spiritual heart does the same thing. When you are dealing with anger, greed, and jealousy and rage in your heart, eventually, that's going to pump until eventually it bursts out. It bursts out of your mouth.
come out.
It bursts out of your mouth. It's bursting out of our actions. It's bursting out of our responses. It's bursting out of our behaviors. And you cannot control it because now it controls you.
Right. Exactly. That's true. That's why I said whatever's in you is gonna eventually
it's gonna come out.
Eventually come out.
Which is why I'll say this. I'm convinced some people can't help to be bitter because of the unforgiveness in their hearts.
That's good.
And some people can't help to be angry because of the envy and jealousy that they experience in their hearts.
That's good.
Anger is not the issue.
Right.
Greed is not the issue.
Right.
It's what's in your heart that's impacting you and causing you to be angry and filled with rage and jealousy and envy. What is it that's in your heart that is impacting our actions and our behaviors and the way we talk to people?
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Our attitudes towards people.
Yeah.
It's a disease in our spiritual heart.
Yeah.
Baby, your heart is under attack.
Heart is under attack. That's why you're so nasty.
And that's why you say
That's why you're so nasty.
it's true. Your heart is under attack.
Yeah.
And if you don't get a grips to the attack, any attack has the potential to take you out.
Wow. That's good. That's good.
Physically or spiritually,
That's good.
it has the potential to take you out. How many of us are on the verge of being taken out because of the attacks on our spiritual heart?
That's good.
And again, the two talk to each other.
They do.
It does. It talks to each other. If we have an issue with controlling what we put in our mouths, it's a strong indication that we have an issue controlling the impulses of our spiritual heart. It's an issue of impulse. Lack of one of the fruits of the spirit, which is self-control. Again, one heart talks to the other.
Right.
You see how they go hand in hand with each other? And we'll never progressively become if our hearts are not on the same page in a positive manner.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We gotta do better.
We gotta do better.
We gotta do better.
It's easier to have to do better.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's crazy how it's easy to do bad.
It is.
It's easy to not to eat junk food. It's easy to. It's crazy, and we're leaving, but the Bible says that adultery it starts in your heart. You know, David. He committed sin when he looked at Bathsheba in an enticing, desirable way, and it wasn't his wife. But it started in his heart. And that heart eventually led to his action.
Right.
Because I don't care how strong you think you are. I know, right? I don't care how strong you think you are. Your heart will always prove stronger.
That's good. What a great. This is good.
Yeah.
This is good.
So for the rest of the month of February, Heart Month.
Heart Month.
We're going to continue. We have some special guests that will be joining us.
Yes.
It's some of the guests are in the conversations will be uncommon, but I think it's necessary for us to have it. You know, we have to become healthy in our hearts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In all aspects of our hearts, physically and spiritually.
So Thursday, 6 a.m. morning devotions. Join us. We will be praying. We will be bombarding heaven for your needs and for what God has to say to us. So meet us Thursday mornings at 6 a.m.
We will be here. Make sure you are. Thank you again for joining us for another conversation. We will see you Thursday and then next Tuesday right here.
Put it in the comments. I have to get my heart healthy. Just put it in the comments. I have to get my heart healthy.
Yes.
And this month we'll show you how to do that.
And for those of you who are just joining or late, go back and take a listen.
Yeah.
Have a good night. We love you. Take care. Bye.